What's happening, y'all? Coach K here, and you're tuned in to DIY Traveler, where I share my experiences as a solopreneur. I have done gig work. I run an LLC. I've gone to craft markets, and of course, I do DIY projects. And right now, one of my main gigs is being a house manager, and that's where I pretty much just take care of the day-to-day things around the house and help to manage the chores and things like that. And that's one of my main services. However, today we're going to be talking about struggle meals, online mentors, and door-to-door marketing. Every solopreneur or entrepreneur or business person, when you hear their success stories, you hear about the phase where they had to experience living off of a little bit, or as they may say, living like no one else so that I could live like no one else. Pretty much sacrificing certain things like the luxury of being able to eat certain types of foods and things like that. For me, my struggle meal was ramen, or is ramen. For others, it might be beans and rice or different things like that. And next, we're going to talk about some online mentors. You want to have a business mentor or some type of mentor that can help guide you through some of these processes. Right now, I'm learning about family structure because really the first business begins in the home. And when you don't have those structures growing up, you sometimes have to go outside of the home to find those structures. So Yvette and Glenn Henry are those examples for me, and I listen to them on a weekly basis with their podcast, How Married Are You? So you'll hear from them in just a few minutes. In this podcast, it's just going to be a snippet of what I was listening to that day. It's always different, but it's always family centered. It's always relationship centered and different things like that. So whether you're single, married, or dating, it prepares you for those big questions or those heavy questions that you need to be talking about and asking if you plan to be in a partnership and start to have kids. So that's why I listen to them. And lastly, that door-to-door marketing, that's what you see me getting ready for here. We have come into a digital age, but sometimes you got to go back to what worked, and that door-to-door, person-to-person, being able to see people face-to-face, it still works. And so right now, that's what I'm doing. I don't have a vehicle, so I'm going to go around my neighborhood, pass out some flyers, and hopefully get some new business that way.
Follow through. You know what I mean? Like, and he's working a plan. Like, not everything works out the way that we, initially planned it or whatever the case may be, but we're in it together, and he's not blinded by his own ambition or like desires. He's also sensible in I don't know if that's avoidable. I think what is beautiful, like even with you asking this question, is that there's an opportunity here for you to acknowledge when you are projecting. Like if there is something that is coming up for you, that may be a trigger or something where it's like, it's like you have to look at the evidence before you and be like, wait a minute, is this like my lived experience with my spouse? Is this a truth that my spouse has displayed, or is this something that I'm carrying from somewhere else and projecting onto him? So I don't know if it's avoidable. I just think it's an opportunity to pause, to pause and assess, and then move forward accordingly, if that makes sense.
I think that's really well said. And I would say, just to add, and I'm not going to go into it because I've definitely projected as well.
Did I do too much?
No, I just don't feel like she needs a whole nother explanation. I feel like you did a good job. So I feel like when you have a therapist, a couples therapist, or a mentor couple, a couples therapist can do this for you as well. A mentor decides to leave me or whatever. You know what I mean? And then the therapist was like, well, what evidence has Glenn given you that he was going to leave you? Like, when has he
Thank y'all so very much for tuning in to this video. It's time for me to get out here and do the footwork, pass out these flyers, and then I'm actually going to a business boot camp. I think I mentioned this in a video yesterday or the day before, but I'm starting the business boot camp, and here I am. I showed up early, as I tend to do on the first day, because I like to kind of be the first one to show up, get a lay of the land. But as we talk about having mentors, whether as a business mentor, a therapist, a counselor, or whatever, this is actually a group setting where we're going to be learning different aspects of business. Today, I think, is financial budgeting or something like that. But you want to have these resources that are available to us. I'm at the Small Business Center here at Wake Tech, and that's who's putting on this actual class. So make sure that you have some support. It's also mental health awareness. I'll probably do a more dedicated video for that later on. But like I said, thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see y'all in the next one. Let's get to work.